Hello lovely people, hello my darlings, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Reads with Lauren. I am Lauren and it is great to be chatting with you today. I have just gotten home from drinks with a friend and I thought this would be a great opportunity, since it's the start of the month, to talk about the books that I am hoping to get read this month. It's a huge pile of books. I don't know what I'm thinking. I decided in the last week or so to start a whole heap of reading vlogs that I've been planning on starting a while back, and yeah, it means that there's quite a lot coming. But let's go through them together. I'll start with the books that I'm currently working my way through. I will be posting an April wrap-up video to tell you about the books that I read last month, but there wasn't a huge amount, and I definitely not my usual sort of reading month. However, there's been a lot going on and I have, been enjoying a lot of new wonderful things that have come into my life, as well as, having to prioritize some other things. But I'm hoping that this month I can get right back into the reading, get back into the swing of things, get these reading challenges all done, and yeah, I think that hopefully it should be a good reading month. But let's talk about the books. All right, let's go through the books that I am currently working my way through. So the first one is one that you will have seen before if you've seen any of my previous videos, and that is Doing Time by Jodie Taylor. I put this down last month purely because I picked up a couple of arcs. Some of them will be in this list because I haven't gotten to them yet. But I thought, I had a time limit. I have time constraints on reading the arcs and reviewing them. So I've put this down. I'm so close to the end. I'm 360 pages in and it's like 470. So I've got like 100 pages to go. I'm hoping to get into that the next couple of days. I don't have a huge amount on this weekend, so I'm hoping that I'll get ample reading time and be able to finish this one off. I've talked about it many times. This is a reread, but it is a reread with the background knowledge of the other series, the OG series. This is the spin-off from the Chronicles of St. Mary's, and I absolutely love that series, and I'm loving reading this again with all of that context. So I've been really enjoying it. Can't wait to finish it. I've also picked up, I'm reading it with my son, which means that there's probably every chance that it will not get finished this month, purely because I only read like 1 or 2 chapters a night when I have him, and I don't have him every night. So yeah, it will take a little while to get through this one, but it is Keepers of the Lost City by Shannon Messenger. It's been really great so far. We're only about 40 pages or so into it, but it's been really fun. He seems to be really enjoying it. I have had it on my radar for a little while. Even though I'm not a huge fan of middle grades and YAs anymore, this drew me in at a bookstore. I picked it up, it was on special, and I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. I'm really excited to get into this with my son and see how it goes from there. The other books that I'm reading, I am also reading Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. Now, this was one that I put in as an honorary mention in my Books with Trans Representation video, which I did quite a while back, and then I made the decision to start this book. I am only about 30% of the way through, and same deal as Doing Time. I received a couple of arcs and I thought I really need to get on top of this and get these books finished. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a YA LGBT book with a trans main protagonist who is fighting to be a brujo. I'm definitely butchering the word. So he isn't really seen by his family as a brujo because he is transgender. So in his way of trying to prove and show that he is just as much a brujo as the rest of them, he ends up trying to connect with a ghost, and the wrong ghost comes along, and it turns out to be one of the kids from his school that had recently passed away. He's from the wrong side of the tracks, and the banter has been really funny so far. I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. It's definitely high on the priority list, but then again, there is a lot of books on this list, so we'll see how I go. Another one that I am working my way through, it is one of the arcs. I have finished one and I will be talking about that in my next video, but I'm reading The Time They Save Tomorrow, which is book 2 in the Swidger series by Steve Nallin. I talked about this in my last video, but I picked up this arc without realizing that it was book 2. So I am reading it, even though I haven't read book 1, and I probably would be enjoying it more if I had read book 1 and I understand, but also I'm kind of struggling with the writing style a little bit, so I don't know how it will go, but I have every intention of finishing it. I really like to try and finish arcs as much as I can, especially, you know, when I have the privilege of being able to receive them. Not really YA, not really middle grade, so yeah, it's kind of like a tween book. I would say like it would be great for 12, 13-year-olds. Yeah, I'm working my way through it. Not a whole lot has been happening, so I'm hoping it will pick up so that, you know, I don't have to DNF it, because I really don't want to if I don't have to. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, there's definitely funny moments. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. I also decided to pick up Neon Gods by Katie Robert. So I am listening to it on my Spotify through audio, and I got to a certain point and then my hours ran out, and I'm so bummed because it was the point where it was about to get spicy and I'm so ready. Now that it is, you know, May, it's the start of the month, it's rolled over, I am going to finish that this weekend. That is pretty much top priority. While I'm doing anything else, I will be listening to that audiobook because it's been great so far. It's definitely, you know, I don't often go for the spicy romances. I like really nice romances that kind of have a little bit of spice at the end, or, you know, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and I literally got to the moment where things started to get spicy, so I'm interested to see where it goes. And I'm still working my way slowly through the Doctor Who novels, and I'm about halfway through Nuclear Time by Ollie Smith. This one is interesting. I mean, it's hard to kind of go into detail about all the Doctor Who books because the whole universe is insane, right? Some kind of creature, or there's some kind of alien or something, and the Doctor needs to come and save the day. They're definitely a comfort listen. I've been listening to them in audio and I have really been enjoying them. I've read most of the David Tennant ones, but I need to go back and kind of start from the very beginning, because even though I'm up to like book 40, I haven't read like the first 15. So that's on the radar in the future. But yeah, I am enjoying them as a bit of a comfort, you know, just when I want something to listen to, but I'm not too invested. Working my way through them, and about halfway through, hopefully I'll finish that one relatively soon. Moving on to the books that I am hoping to read for challenges. So like I said earlier, I've started quite a few challenge videos, so I'm hoping to get onto these and start reading these very soon. So I won't go into too much detail about the books because I'm hoping to vlog my experience with some of these books, as a couple of them in particular are very popular books that I have been sort of trying to steer clear from, but I need to see what the fuss is about. And one of them is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I am so pumped to get into this and make a start. It's, you know, romantasy and dragons. It's probably going to be good, and I don't know why I've put off reading it for so long. It could just be because of all of the differing reviews I've heard, but I'm really excited to make a start on this one. Another one that I have decided to jump on board and finally give a go is the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas. So this month I'm hoping to read A Court of Thorn and Roses. Obviously, I probably don't need to tell you about this book because it's Sarah J. Maas and she has a cult following. And it's just been one of those book series that I've tried to just avoid purely because I've heard very negative reviews about it. But also, I have loved a lot of book series that have been very popular and a lot of people haven't liked. So I don't know. I could end up enjoying it. So I'm going to give ACOTAR a go this month and vlog the experience. So if you're interested in going through that journey with me, please feel free to follow me. And yeah, I'd love to chat with you and make some more book loving friends. So yeah, feel free to subscribe if you would like to. Another reading vlog that I have started, I think I've over dedicated here. But I have started another reading vlog, which is reading 3 of the lowest rated books on my current TBR. One is The List by Yomi Adegoke. This book I've heard really negative reviews about, but it was one that I was so pumped to read when I heard about it and when it first came out. So I'm excited to give it a go and see what I think. But it's about, the protagonist is, you know, happily engaged woman. She has quite a big following on social media, and her relationship is kind of seen as an ideal, like, relationship goals sort of scenario. Then she discovers that this anonymous account is releasing information and allegations about men within the community. Even though she's generally on board with making these people pay for their actions, she discovers that her fiance is on said list. So it sounds so intriguing. It's described as a portrait of modern times and our morally complicated online culture. And look, to me, it just sounded really great. Like I said, the reviews since it's been released have not all been great, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go. And being one of the lowest rated on my TBR probably, you know, isn't a great sign. So I'm not sure how that video will go, but it should be a bit of fun anyway. One of the other books that I want to read for that particular challenge is Shadow Dreams by Terry Barnett. So this one is a romantasy. It's one that my mum downloaded a long time ago. It kind of sounded cool and I added it to my TBR a couple of years back, but it doesn't have a particularly high rating. But it is about an ancient cult. Its children are going missing. The protagonist is a healer that helps on archaeological digs with the excavations, and she connects the artifacts with their owners. So children are going missing, and eventually her daughter is one of the children that goes missing. She ends up going on this big quest to get her daughter, and what I'm assuming is going to be a very sexy man, because it's a romantasy, is going to help her on this quest. So we'll see what happens. The last one for that particular vlog is one that my mum DNF'd and was going to throw away years ago, and so I said, no, give it to me, because it is set in Rome in 63 BC. That's my jam. And it's called The Virgin's Tale by Sherry Smith. Mum DNF'd it. It's got a very low rating. I don't know how I'll go with it, but I haven't wanted to get rid of it yet. And it's never been kind of like high on the priority list in my TBR. So the fact that it came up as one of the lowest rated means that I'm finally going to give it a go and see what happens. We'll see. It's about a woman who's been offered up by her parents to be a Vestal Virgin, one of 6 handpicked women who symbolically protect the Roman Republic. So at the age of 6, which is crazy young, it says the temptation leads her to commit a mortal sin, and she's sentenced to death, as virgins must die, buried alive in a pitch black tomb. As the end draws near, she looks back over her claustrophobic, restricted life, the intense friendships she formed, the implacable enemies she made, and finally the passionate but forbidden romance which caused her downfall and yet may be her only hope. It kind of sounds cool, so I'm hoping that I enjoy it. Even though it's got a low rating, which generally means that maybe it's just not been executed very well. It's definitely sort of the kind of history story that gets my juices flowing. So we'll see what happens. I've also started another vlog. So these will probably be coming out over the course of the month. I definitely don't think that I will get all of them done with very soon, but I started a reader on haul challenge. I've done one before. This one was for my Kindle. If you haven't seen, I have a couple of TBR jars that I keep for these challenges, and then I make a start on them and I decide if I will continue reading them or if I will get rid of them, just as a way to sort of decrease my TBR. And surprisingly enough, the books that were chosen are very exciting. So without giving too many spoilers away, I ended up picking out 2 time travel books, which is insane to me because they were so randomly picked, and time travel is my jam, and I've been hoping to do a vlog about time travel books. So it's kind of all worked together. And because that video will be coming out in the near future, I won't go too much into the stories. However, the books that I will be reading are Here and Now and Then by Mike Chen and Replay by Ken Grimwood. I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am about this vlog because I have downloaded a whole heap of books with that time travel theme, and I have been trying not to read them all, you know, so that I had the opportunity to do a reading vlog with you guys and go along on that journey with you. And yeah, it's kind of just landed in my lap, thankfully, which is so exciting because I'm really excited to get into these books, and they have been on my radar as I must get into these soon. So it worked out so well. Then, yes, there is more. So I have talked about this in my previous video, in my recent haul. This was one that I was super excited about coming out this year, and that is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Fazal. So during the day, Arthi runs a tea room. However, at night, it becomes an illegal bloodhouse for vampires. This story is a heist story. She ends up having to infiltrate the vampire world. I'm not really sure what's going on and why. However, I want to know as little as possible because I think that this is going to be an absolute trip. People within her crew helping her with the heist are not what they seem. So it sounds really interesting. I'm super pumped. I've been carrying it around with me in the hopes to start reading it soon. I've got my little bookmark in there ready to go. So yeah, this is on the radar very soon. I love this cover. I fell in love with this cover the first time I saw it and I knew I had to have it. I also want to do a little bit of a reread. We picked up book 10 of Spy Family, and I read Spy Family last year, but I would like to go through and reread them before I start book 10. So that's on the radar to do as soon as possible. I'm hoping that I can give myself a few hours over the weekend to sort of start working my way through this. It's a great manga series. I highly recommend it, clearly, because I'm reading it again. And then I have two arcs that I need to read ASAP because one of them, you know, my deadline is next week. So we'll see how that goes. But one of them is Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White. This is described as a gut-wrenching story following a trans-autistic teen who survives an attempted murder only to be drawn into the generational struggle between the rural poor and those who exploit them. I've read one of Andrew's previous works, really enjoyed it. I recommended it in my trans representation recommendation video, which is on my channel. So if you would like to check that out, please feel free to do so. Really enjoy their writing style. I really found the book fun and interesting. Definitely horror themes involved. I'm super excited to get into this one. I want to read everything that Andrew's written. And then the last book that I'm hoping to read this month, it is another arc. This one is the one that is due next week. So this is going to have to be top on my priority list, and that is Cry of Fangs by Kaylee Alessi. This one is about sort of a vampire war potentially starting. I think most of the main characters are vampires. Because it's an arc, I don't want to know too much about it going into it because I'd like to give it a completely objective review. So yeah, that's all I know about it. I know that it's very heavily involved with vampires and there are several different main characters that we will be following along with. So super excited to get into that one as well. But that is like 26 books, so I need to stop now. I don't think I will get all of these done in May, but I am going to try my absolute hardest. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books, what you think of them, if there's any books that you're hoping to read this month, or if there's anything that, you know, is similar to these books that you think would be a great fit. Please let me know in the comments. More book friends are always invited, always invited. That's it from me for now. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for staying here with me, and I look forward to chatting with you in another video very, very soon. Goodbye, my darlings.